Okay, it is now time, because it is Friday. It is time for Mailbag Friday, presented by our friends. Let me make sure I do this right. Presented by our friends, North Texas Honda Dealers. It's Helpful Honda Mailbag Friday. The North Texas Honda Dealers want to help you score some great deals on award-winning Hondas. Stop by your Helpful Honda dealer today and visit ntxhondadealers.com to learn more. That's ntxhondadealers.com. Get your questions in on high school football, college football, recruiting, lifestyle, romance, travel, anything you got. We will answer your questions here on Texas Football Today with Erin Hartigan. We will start, first of all, we have a question up here from Rob Hadaway. Rob asks, mailbag question for Erin. Tell us an embarrassing behind-the-scenes situation for TEP at Fox Sports Southwest that nobody would know. I'll be honest, I think I don't spend too much time before or after the show hanging around Fox. I think I've done this enough, so it's like most of the embarrassing stuff.
Do you remember, though, when it's not really embarrassing for you. I always do the embarrassing stuff, which isn't fair.
Mm-hmm. That's true. You do the embarrassing stuff.
He's, like, perfect, and it
annoys
the heck out of me.
Stop it.
But there was one time, do you remember the time we fist bumped and you spilled your coffee all over you? Like, it was like, well, maybe that was because I had...
Yes.
I think I was fresh off like an oral steroid.
No. You were on the juice. You were taking steroids for some sort of like flu or something you had.
Of this out there, actually.
And
yes.
you gave me like, I was like, we were coming back on
it was a solid one.
Coming back on the air, and you were like, and I was holding my cup of coffee in one hand. And then I was like, hey, you know what? Hey, let's go get it. And we get a fist bump. And you hit me so hard.
And of all nights, for you to be wearing a white tie,
that the coffee like went straight down the middle of my suit, too. It was like right in the middle.
Nights for you to be wearing like a white tie. And
so
he just did, the best part was he just did the rest of the show with just like this mess.
Well, there was a panic.
Like, it looked like a total mess. Like,
it was like, we did it. If I remember correctly, there were still about 90 seconds left in the commercial break. And we were coming back, and there was like a panic for those 90 seconds. Like, oh my gosh! Like
Tide pen wasn't a thing.
All the camera guys. I'm sure a Tide pen was a thing, but we didn't have one.
I don't think had been invented yet.
I don't think how long have we been on the air? No, that's not true.
So you asked if you could go tieless.
I think I did.
In which case we were like, okay, Cliff Kingsbury.
I did not have I don't think I had a white tie, but I did have a light tie. I don't own a white tie. What kind of monster owns a white tie?
Okay, but of all people, that's true. Although I can tell you someone who did, and it was the guy that lent you a tie, Rick Renner.
Well, that's true.
Rick Renner is the owner of a white tie.
That's very Renner.
Probably I would put the house on that.
Yeah.
He actually ended up lending you one. But like, why is that the only embarrassing moment I can think? And it wasn't even like that. I mean, like, again, it drives me nuts. Rob, was this Rob's question? Rob, it drives me nuts that he's like,
Stop
he doesn't have them.
All right, next question. Next question. From our friend Erin. Erin.
Wine in a red Solo.
This is AARON, Erin. Erin says, what is Erin's favorite stadium in Texas?
I will answer that, followed by a question for that, Erin. But first, the Puncher Dome was kind of...
Right.
But now, again,
I
will preface it with, I have yet to really visit some that are still on my bucket list. I have yet to visit all the stadiums that are on my bucket list, like El Paso is one.
Mm-hmm.
And is that your favorite?
That's my top bucket list.
Okay,
one.
so I got to get there at some point. But I know Puncher Dome is second on your list, and we finally got to visit that 2 years ago when we did Texas Football Days from there. That was just super cool because it was so historic, and the community. I mean, I particularly liked the fifth quarter.
Yes.
At the Tavern Burger.
It was at...
They call it the fifth quarter. It's like this gathering they have
at the Church
after
of Christ.
every game at the Church of Christ, and they serve tavern burgers, which are basically like...
It's sloppy joes.
Glorified sloppy joes, which is... they're amazing. Merle!
Wow, how do you remember his name? That's incredible.
Because we're BFFs. We made bracelets. I'm kidding, but we wanted to. Merle makes the tavern burgers, and he has for like the last 30 years, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know. So that was just like a really cool experience. I would say the Puncher Dome.
Yeah.
At this point, to which I ask you, Erin, I'm going to answer a question with a question. Has Starbucks, what's the craziest spelling of Erin you've received at Starbucks on your cup? Because I feel like it should be common. Like if you're a dude and you're like, hey, my name's Erin, it's AARON. And if you're a female and you're like, hey, my name's Erin, it's ERIN. But apparently that's not like
Ron.
Alley. Like apparently that's not like people don't know that. Like that's not as common knowledge as maybe I thought it was.
I will just say like, one thing that for me, and this is a big first world problem. So my name is, I don't know if you know my first name. My first name's Greg. You basically never call me that.
Two G's at the end or one.
That's where I'm going with this, because my name is Greg, Greg. People who spell it with 2 G's on the end, don't trust them. Got to be honest.
So how do you feel about Pam's with 2 M's?
What?
I'm kidding.
There's no way that's a thing. I'm furious.
Step Brothers, look it up. But but seriously, Aaron, like
he wrote it and he says Aeron, and then he said there's in this fantasy football league they call him Aoreoan
like
on
what?
purpose. I know.
It's Erin or it's Aaron.
Pam.
Like those are like the two. I got Aaron, like AIR, Air, like Air Jordan, but like AIRIN, and I'm just like, but I get the weirdest.
That seems very like social media influencer way to spell it. You know what I mean?
So Aaron understands. Like, it's not that hard, people. Okay. It's not that difficult.
We have a question from Matt. Matt asks, "How many Cokes has Aaron spilled in Texas high school football press boxes?"
Who asked that?
A gentleman named Matt.
Well, I know a lot of Matts. One with the last name Stepp that I love fresh to death. I believe that the only Coke I spilled in a press box was with the Matt with the last name Stepp. Mm-hmm. I want to say that was the only one I actually spilled.
I didn't see
I
who
was
other.
more okay. So it was Coppell.
Mm-hmm.
First round of the playoffs, I believe. Second round, maybe.
Cowboy Fight Never Dies.
We were there to see.
I would bet it was the
running
defensive.
back. Why am I that went to Notre Dame? Why am I totally drunk? Cam McDaniel. We were there to see Cam McDaniel, and I believe Corbett Smith or Brandon George was in the press box. One of them was covering Texas high school football at the time. I think Corbs. Noobs was not. Corbs was. And yeah, Matt Stepp, God bless him, was like my Miyagi. I was like learning, training under him. God bless him. Mm-hmm. I don't know how he made it through that. But I blame Greg Powers because he was like, "Here, you deal with her." And I'm in I'm like, "Hey, Stepp, like, woo, looking forward to the game today. Like, how about that? How about them Cowboys? You know?" And
that sounds like something you'd say.
Yeah, I was trying really hard, and I don't know if I'm ever allowed back in the Coppell press box.
Good point.
Following it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I can ask. I have connections over there at Coppell. Cowboy Fight Never Dies.
Lineman Tep is still my favorite.
It's true. We've now run that on the show multiple times. And so now let's see if I can ask you a question that can get you in trouble.
Okay.
And if you cannot answer this, I freely recognize we have not screened this question beforehand.
I'm kind of nervous.
Yeah, I know. Here it comes. Okay.
Remember, this is a family-friendly.
I'm aware. It has nothing to do with that.
Okay.
So you work for Fox Sports Southwest for now.
I like that you went exactly.
So I guess my question is, I guess it's out there now. It's news. Like, this is not that the name of the station is changing.
Yeah, that is public.
That's public information. Okay, yeah, and you've known about this probably for a little bit longer than the public has, but not a ton longer.
Yeah.
Do you have any comments on the new name? It's Bally Sports?
Well, it's Bally Sports.
It's going into effect
which is
like
named out. It's the
2021, 2022.
Bally's Casino in Vegas is of the ownership.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I guess my only question, again, me answering a question with a question. How is that going to work for high school football?
It's a little interesting, right?
Okay.
That's something I've thought about. But I also think that I think the UIL is pretty happy with the deal with Fox Sports Southwest or their current TV provider. But it is interesting. That's one thing I thought of is.
Are we going to be adding spreads to Football Friday?
I do not think we'll be doing that. No.
Okay.
But the one thing I will say, that's
Dr.
a joke.
Elza,
that's a joke.
Harrison and Bride Up. We're joking.
I do, but here's the other thing is that, like, for example, the UIL goes and they go play their state championship games at AT&T Stadium, right?
Yes.
And AT&T Stadium, in one of the end zones, is the Miller Lite end zone. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So I would say that there are ways around it. You know what I mean? That I don't think it's necessarily a deal breaker on that regard. And I'm
Okay.
sure the UIL and the powers that be.
Give me an over-under on the number of times I will
Oh.
accidentally say Fox or Fox Sports Southwest or Fox Football Friday or because Bally's Football Friday.
It's going to be, I think, well, I mean, you'll notice.
Over-under. How many
here's-
times am I going to
First of all, well, here's the thing. You will notice, and longtime viewers of our television program on Fox Sports Southwest for now, maybe have noticed that we did call it Fox Football Friday, and now we've started calling it Football Friday.
You're right. It is just
Football Friday.
Just Football Friday.
And I think that is, I don't know. That's I bet it'll just be Football Friday.
For me, it's gonna be hard. Like just saying because on Fox Sports Southwest, I was so used to saying that.
Well, and you also, the other thing for you is that you don't. I'm a dummy who rolls in there twice a week, right? I do the Player of the Week show, and then I do Football Friday and Scoreboard on Friday nights, right?
So you get 3.5 hours with me every week.
I get a lot of hours with you. But here's the thing. You have to do Pelicans. You have in the past done Rangers. You have kind of done everything. You're saying the name of the station a lot more than I am.
Oh, God.
It's also not my responsibility to reset and say you're watching whatever. My job is just to run my mouth, as viewers of this program know.
I just softball it up and let
Yes.
you go, and that's how we do 3 hours of television. It's definitely going to be different, but I will say I don't know if I can go out there. Okay, so
Ooh.
we had other names. There were other names thrown out there.
Of course
and
there
thank
were.
God we didn't go in that direction because one of them was Desire Network,
Oh my gosh.
which had Dana Larson about falling out of her chair.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just trying to let's look on the bright side. We're not the Desire Network.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point.
That's the bright side. That's it.
That is the bright side.
No, but listen, it's
It's
just-
interesting.
Yeah,
It's gonna take a minute to get used to.
And I'm gonna be married.
Yeah.
This next, so
Yeah,
I will tell you.
I guess
so
that's-
I've been asked if I'm.
Well, allow me to ask the question. I'm a capital J journalist, so we can get you on the air or on the record here. Your name is Erin Hartigan. You're marrying a gentleman.
that I know of.
You're marrying a gentleman whose last name is Wilkerson. Okay.
Yeah.
Is next season's Football Friday, assuming we don't get canceled, is next season's Football
Yeah,
Friday
we're assuming we're
going to
bringing-
star Aaron Wilkerson?
What if it stars Erin Hartigan hyphen? Will?
Oh, I love it.
Bam.
Are you going to hyphenate? Are you going to ask Will to take your
Or-
name?
Or, okay.
That'd be very progressive.
Okay, that would actually be kind of interesting. Should I ask him?
Yeah.
Okay, ask. Let's listeners.
Should Will take Aaron's name?
Should Will take my name?
Look,
okay, because here's my thing.
We
And
have
I'm
to
gonna be honest
defeat
with-
the
I'm gonna
patriarchy,
be
and the
honest
way to
with
do
y'all.
that is one step at a time, like
well,
that.
But listen, at the same time, I kind of don't, and weigh in here. I don't want to give up Hartigan on air because I feel like I've worked to I don't know,
Ooh,
all
the
my work
brand.
has gone into I don't even want to call it a brand because
Aaron Hartigan,
boy, is
Aaron
that
Hartigan LLC.
not a successful one. I don't know. I just feel like it's that's that's been the name. So Dana Larson. Larson is actually her maiden name.
Right.
She goes by Dana. So Dana Perner is her married
Yeah,
name.
because she's
Jay Perner, the commissioner of the LSC,
Yeah,
is her
I don't know if you guys knew
husband.
that.
Another Texas football love story. I believe they actually met at SMU. You should have Dana on to share her love story. Or just me because
I've talked
really
with
the weird
her.
one that does that.
I've interviewed her husband, Jay Perner.
We love Jay.
Yeah, he's great.
Very
Very tall.
Dana's our favorite Perner.
Very
no
tall.
question.
One thing that's very weird. One thing, not weird, but one thing that's very notable about them, and this is something that I notice a lot because I don't know if you know this. I have tiny wife, and so I'm about 6'1". My wife is about 5 foot, and so we always notice whenever there are couples who who have a height difference, and Dana is smallish.
Yes.
She's
yes.
smallish.
She is definitely maybe
She's petite.
Maybe 5'5", 5'4". Yeah, she's pretty.
She's petite.
She's pretty
but
petite.
but part of that is also the fact that her husband, Jay, he's a former
Jay-
basketball player,
yeah,
right?
He played at SMU.
Yeah.
Where they met. So oh God, I don't know how tall Jay is. 6'7",
Mm-hmm.
maybe. So Dana's 5'5", maybe, and he's an entire foot
Yeah.
an entire foot taller,
He's-
if that. I mean,
he's-
that's at minimum.
He is I'm a decently tall guy, and my wife is pretty short. Dana is relatively short, kind of short, but Jay is a large
Okay,
dude.
so it's like the time you guys saw Chris Bosch and his wife?
Yes, correct.
Over.
In Germany, correct.
And Jen
That's right.
goes, look, they're very, and you're like, yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. If you don't know that story,
I love Jen.
we were vacationing in Europe back, I guess 6 years ago now, and
Back when we could.
we were walking around, and my wife noticed that there was this couple, a very tall guy and like a pretty petite woman, and she's like, oh, look at that, there's a big height difference too. And I looked, and I'm like, oh, that's Chris Bosch, that's NBA All-Star Chris Bosch. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah. So we noticed that. So I guess.
So back to your question, Dana. Like and Emily Jones. Emily Jones. That's her maiden name. She's Emily McCoy, married. So like they have kept their. So like why like I feel like that's kind of the direction I'm gonna go. Is I'm still gonna be Erin. Like legally, I'll be Erin Wilkerson. If not, if he doesn't take my last name. But then I'll just be Erin Hartigan on air. So you don't have to worry about like getting my name right on air. Like you don't have to worry about anything changing for you. You just keep that tie clean. Okay?
That's good because I have enough to worry about. I don't know what in the heck I'm doing up there. Okay. It's Erin Hartigan from Fox Sports Southwest.
Was that a good first segment today, talking about the love story that wasn't and it kind of became one?
I think the people loved it. And if they didn't, well, the show is free. Thanks to the helpful Honda dealers for being our sponsor of Mailbag Friday. The North Texas Honda dealers want to help you score some great deals on award-winning Hondas. So stop by your helpful Honda dealer today and visit ntxhondadealers.com to learn more.